Hi, thank you for joining me for the third session in our series, Puberty Education. I'm Wendy Sellers, a registered nurse and a certified sexuality educator. I'm also the author of Puberty, the Wonder Years. In this video, I will share ways to help students make connections to the trusted adults in their lives. But first, why is this so important? Well, it's important because kids are curious. That's how they learn. Kids are swimming in a sexualized society. Sexual messages are all around them, no matter how protected they are by their parents and educators. They're also not sophisticated enough to sort through all of those messages and interpret them. Kids get their information from many unreliable sources. Wouldn't you rather they get accurate information from people that they trust? Research shows that when kids talk to a trusted adult about puberty, relationships, and sexual behavior, it's a protective factor for them. These kids are less likely to be victimized, engage in early initiation of sex, get STIs, or become pregnant. So, yes, it's very important. These are some examples of trusted adults. The students select their own trusted adults, people they can count on to listen and provide support. Of course, it would be wonderful if every child had parents who were that trusted adult. But for those who don't, it's important to help them identify other adults they can go to. Rita Pierson is a master educator, and I love this quote. Every child deserves a champion, an adult who will never give up on them, who understands the power of connection and insists that they become the best they possibly can be. So, how do we help young people become comfortable with talking to their trusted adults? Well, we have to teach them. So, here are some tips. It's important that young people understand that they need to pick a good time, not when the adult is super busy or when it's noisy. It's also helpful to get comfortable talking about other topics that aren't as sensitive first. They can discuss common interests or sports or anything else that they want to with their trusted adult and just get comfortable with talking. It's also helpful to get to know the adult. Ask them about themselves. Ask them questions. Listen. The better you know someone, the more comfortable conversations become. Another tip is to do an activity together when they bring up the topic of puberty or relationships. It's often easier to talk to someone about a sensitive topic when you're playing a game, doing a sport, or riding in a car, because then you don't have to sit and look at each other in the eye while you're having sensitive conversations. It can also help young people if they practice their opening line ahead of time, such as, I'd like to ask you a question. Is this a good time? It's also helpful to acknowledge to the young person that this might be embarrassing to talk about puberty, relationships, and sexual behaviors, that they might feel embarrassed and their trusted adult might also feel embarrassed, and that's okay. Now it's your turn to plan to apply what you've learned during this session. How will you prepare students to talk to their trusted adults?